has to be for everybody.
Right.
We can have platforms that have stuff on them that not everyone on that platform or who consumes stuff on that platform enjoys. And The View is a particularly weird place to do a cancellation.
It's called The View?
It's called The View. It's not called The Facts.
Yeah, but isn't it interesting that it's called, I mean, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America.
But
there is one view.
Right, and
one
that's clearly actually
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit in the...
If you thought you'd seen fiery clashes on live TV before, nothing compares to what just happened when Sunny Hostin went head-to-head with Bill Maher and Megyn Kelly.
They're disgusting. She's Anna Navarro in your wildest imagination. You could never solo host a show. You will only ever make it as part of an ensemble, and you could never hope to achieve the success that Tucker Carlson has. So you can sit in your little cheap seats all day long and enjoy your little negative henpecking, but your careers are going nowhere, and Tucker is about to dominate in whatever space he goes to.
This wasn't just a heated exchange. It was a complete dismantling of Sunny's arguments in real time, a moment so raw and unfiltered that even her own co-hosts looked uneasy. And trust me, you'll want to hear every second of how this unfolded, because what started as a typical roundtable debate quickly turned into one of the most humiliating moments Sunny has ever faced on The View. Now, here's the thing about that show. It's called The View, not The Facts. The title alone tells you what it's about: opinions, perspectives, emotions, not necessarily reality. That very tension is exactly why this clash with Sunny Hostin exploded into what can only be described as a televised demolition. On this particular day, the smugness that usually defines her tone quickly unraveled as she found herself up against not just one, but two seasoned communicators who weren't willing to play by her rules. Imagine sipping your coffee, expecting the usual smug lectures, and instead witnessing Sunny crumble under the sharp sarcasm of Bill Maher and the icy precision of Megyn Kelly. What unfolded wasn't just awkward, it was historic. The sparks began with Bill Maher, who had been the subject of repeated criticism from The View's panel, especially Whoopi Goldberg.
Talk about Whoopi Goldberg, because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week before.
Sure.
So everybody was like, oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma. First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week, teaser. But there is no fucking thing as karma, okay? Get over that. Whoopi attacks me on a regular basis. She says stupid shit on a regular basis. They just happen to coincide.
Bill, known for his dry wit, wasn't about to let that go unnoticed. He casually remarked that Whoopi often attacked him with nonsensical claims, and he brushed it off the way only Maher can, half annoyed, half amused. But beneath the humor was a clear point. This wasn't about fair criticism. It was about lazy, one-sided commentary dressed up as informed debate. From there, it escalated. Sunny Hostin, who always seems eager to step into the role of prosecutor, approached the conversation like a courtroom drama. But the problem? She wasn't the judge here. She wasn't in control. And Bill Maher, with his sarcasm, alongside Megyn Kelly, with her calm and collected delivery, tore her arguments apart piece by piece.
Hot mess that they air in the mornings, called The View, had to issue not one, not two, not three, but 4 corrections, legal corrections, 4 legal notes. We only have 3 of them on camera, but look at this. Not to mention what they did at that debate, where once again, they tried to fact check only one side, and then when their fact checks got fact checked, they cowered. They cowered in fear. I mean, this is a pattern with them.
The shift in tone was undeniable. Sunny, usually so confident, gripping her notes with an air of superiority, suddenly looked rattled. The tension peaked when the conversation turned to ideological extremism. Bill pointed out that while the far right posed clear dangers, the left had also shifted in troubling ways. Sunny tried to dismiss this, insisting that the right was the only real threat. But Maher wasn't letting it slide. He reminded the panel that the left of today is not the left of decades past. He even highlighted how anti-Semitism, once associated with conservatives, is now finding a disturbing home among progressives. It was a cold dose of reality, and Sunny had no effective response.
Term you want.
because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't want to call it the super far left, but don't tell me the left has
the super far right. Well, he's talking about the left. Well, then
okay, but we talked about that. I mean, I think we agree about the danger of the super far right, and I can't say it enough. I think they're the bigger threat. But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay.
What made this exchange so brutal wasn't just the points being made. It was the style of delivery. Sunny relies on volume, repetition, and moral outrage. She believes if she talks long enough, the other side won't get a word in. But Megyn Kelly wasn't having it. She didn't yell. She didn't perform. She calmly laid out facts and timelines, each one slicing through Sunny's grandstanding. The louder Sunny got, the weaker she appeared.
Finally, new rule, stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma, sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
And then came the humiliation that left even viewers squirming. The View had to issue not 1, not 2, but 4 legal corrections. For separate instances where they'd gotten information so wrong, lawyers had to step in. Think about that. How does a show with that much influence make so many avoidable mistakes in one stretch? It wasn't just sloppy. It was embarrassing. And in that moment, all Sunny's bravado collapsed.
A hot mess that they air in the mornings, called The View, had to issue not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 corrections, legal corrections. 4 legal notes. We only have 3 of them on camera, but look at this.
I have another legal note.
My God.
Both Trump and Pam Bondi have denied allegations of a quid pro quo. I have a legal note.
You want to take this one, Joy, or are you good?
Megyn has long denied all allegations and has not been charged with any crime.
But it got worse. The conversation pivoted to patriotism and America's role as a global superpower. Alyssa Farah, the token conservative on the panel, pointed out that if America ceded its status as the world's leading force, it wouldn't be replaced by a friendly democracy like Denmark, it would be replaced by China. An authoritarian regime currently imprisoning Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps.
Had a discussion on The View about world superpowers from the sound of it. That's how they got into it. And Sunny Hostin made some comments about patriotism and America and Black America. It's all in there, Jason. I mean, it's all in there. I'm going to tee it up. It starts with Alyssa Farah, who's supposed to be the Republican commentator. And then you'll hear Sunny jump in.
If America is not the #1 global power, it's not going to be Denmark. It's going to be communist China, a country that right now the government is imprisoning Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps. It is a deeply racist government. It's a human rights violating government. It is a government that if they are the leader of the free world, we are not a free world the way that we are right now.
The notion of patriotism and the notion of America and the American flag has been co-opted by the right as if they are true patriots. But when I listen to Christopher Wray, the head of the FBI, he said white supremacy is the biggest domestic threat to this country.
The gravity of that point hung heavy, but Sunny didn't address it. Instead, she launched into a tangent about how the concept of patriotism has been hijacked by conservatives. She even invoked FBI Director Christopher Wray's comments on white supremacy as the biggest domestic threat. But here's the kicker. Sunny went so far as to compare January 6th to the Holocaust, slavery, and World War II. Yes, she actually placed those horrific, world-altering atrocities in the same category as a single-day riot. Even people who disliked Trump had to cringe at. The absurdity. It wasn't just a bad analogy, it was historically tone-deaf and profoundly insulting.
Donald Trump will be sworn in as the 47th President of the United States, yay, on January 20th of this month. Not everyone's happy about it, and many people would like us to be more focused on the insurrection that he personally unleashed, if you ask them. As we discussed earlier, they think it's as bad as like the Holocaust, and you don't have to take my word for it. Here is Sunny Hostin of
January
The View
6th was an
today.
atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, like World War II, things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery.
Yeah, the January 6th is right up there next to the Holocaust.
The moment was a turning point. The exaggeration was so wild, so detached from reality, that it collapsed under its own weight. Producers scrambled, co-hosts shifted uncomfortably, and the audience at home was left in disbelief. And that's when Megyn Kelly stepped in. Her response was calm, surgical, devastating. She didn't need to raise her voice. She simply pointed out that equating half of America to Nazis wasn't just wrong, it was dangerous. The dynamic was clear now. Sunny was performing, shouting, dramatizing. Bill and Megyn were dismantling. Bill, with humor and sarcasm, revealed how absurd the arguments sounded.
Maher, who has been the standard bearer for liberalism and in many ways leftism until the woke went bananas in this last decade, but for decades, that's what this guy has represented in America. I want you to note the tone they all talk with him. I want you to look at Sunny Hostin's body language and the way they look at him and everything else. Just because he is a lefty who hasn't gone completely bananas, here they are talking.
Megyn, with facts and precision, revealed how hollow they really were. Together, they exposed Sunny's reliance on emotion and outrage rather than substance. As the debate dragged on, Sunny kept trying to regain control. She invoked woke culture, insisting the term was originally a noble concept from the Black community, meant to highlight awareness of injustice. Bill Maher calmly agreed with the original meaning, but pointed out that words evolve, and in today's culture, woke has become synonymous with overreach and cancel culture.
The term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and
migrate.
So why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that?
Sunny bristled, unable to accept that her safe word had lost its power. Her frustration grew more visible. Her tone sharpened. Her body language turned defensive. Meanwhile, Megyn Kelly delivered one calm rebuttal after another, exposing Sunny's lack of preparation. At one point, Sunny even tried to deny calling white Republican women cockroaches, backpedaling as the tension hit its peak. But by then, the damage was irreversible.
Last you called white Republican women cockroaches.
Actually, I didn't. And
you said they're acting like cockroaches.
I used it a similar rhetoric. Let me answer that. Okay. I used the metaphor.
Here's what I'm going to ask you all to do. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to tone it down a bit because I can't hear anything. No one can hear what's being
She just
said.
said I called white women roaches. All right,
We're going to go to break. We're going to break.
And then Sunny detonated the conversation completely. She equated wearing a MAGA hat with wearing a swastika. The statement shocked even the most hardened critics of Trump. Bill Maher, again calm as ever, responded that while he's no defender of Trump, you can't equate supporting him with supporting genocide. Half the country voted for Trump. Are they all Nazis? Of course not. That simple statement from Bill revealed just how far Sunny had spiraled.
And by the way, out there, that hat that you keep wearing, that red hat that says "Make America Great Again," that tells people that you go along with this. So you might as well just put a swastika on the hat.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Because we see it anyway.
I'm not going to defend Donald Trump ever, but I would never say that we should put the swastika on the cap because I think you can hate Donald Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. It's half the country. I don't want to live in that country. I don't want to live in the country where I hate half the country and I don't hate half the country.
How dare you disagree?
By now, it was painfully clear. Sunny Hostin wasn't debating. She was unraveling. Her arguments weren't holding together. Her reliance on moral outrage and identity politics had become a crutch, and when that crutch was kicked away, she couldn't stand. She wasn't facing two people trying to shout her down. She was facing two people who refused to be intimidated by volume and outrage. Bill and Megyn didn't just disagree with her. They exposed her. And once that curtain was pulled back, there was no going back. So when people say Sunny Hostin collapsed on live television, they're not exaggerating. They're describing the moment her carefully built persona crumbled under the weight of reality. And it wasn't loud. It wasn't theatrical. It was quiet, calm, and devastating. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Because this was more than just a TV spat, it was a lesson in what happens when performance collides with reality, and reality wins every single time.